Hi, so I'm here with two of my lovely peers, Virgin and Angel Gladdy. How are you both doing?
Good.
Good.
All
Thank you for
right.
having us.
I know, it's so excited. Let's talk a bit about stereotypes and maybe how people often can see trans women and color and have these stereotypes about them. And maybe some ways we could debunk that and, demystify some of those myths. What do you think some of those myths are?
That's a really hard question. I feel like a lot of people think like that trans people, or at least I get all like we're kind of like faking something, that we're pretending that. Usually people ask you like, what's your real name? Or, oh, so, okay, show me the real face. And I'm like, okay, so this is what I am. This is my name. Like I think there is something more generally that choosing your own name, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the stereotypes there's around that, like you're faking or pretending to be something or someone else.
Yeah. Like I encountered similar stuff. What Virgin said, one person was like trying to get to know me, and he was asking me, "What's your name?" And I said, like, "My name is Angel Gladdy." And what is your real name? And why are you asking? Like, I just wanted to get to know you. I was like, asking my real name, it's not get to know me.
And that's not this is your real name, like
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
people
first of all,
so
what does real name means?
But this
Right.
this is stigma that we are like faking
Right.
it, right? Like that this is not real. That this is
That
like
you're not
like
real.
or there were kind of like a drag star, or there when you go home like
You
just,
don't take off all
right,
you
you just
know?
like
Yeah, it's like a-
grow
yeah.
beer or whatever, like
Yeah.
And also, one more thing is like people are when it's talking about stereotype, they are like putting in a box for you. Given like according to their knowledge, they're like, of course, they're having a lack of knowledge. That's the reason they are doing it. But like they are putting in a box that like trans women means like you need to have certain body types, certain physicality, certain sex, like yeah, but they are like putting in a box of sex, a box of physicality, box of stereotype, structure. That is like no, we trans is like it's an umbrella, it's a wider and broader. It's like people can from male to female, they can stand in between any places. And also some people, they don't even have that line, and they're like throwing both of them, and they're like, I'm a trans, but like I don't go with male or female, I'm like gender fluid. So that they are also like inclusivity trans wider term. It's like you need to be like open up, and you don't need to put like stereotype. That like stereotype is like a big issue in the society right now. Yeah.
I think for me, often people like when they, identify as a trans woman of color who is often an immigrant, wasn't born here, they often think I'm not smart. They treat me like I'm not, like I don't have education or they don't take me seriously, and all these like, oh my God, and they have these preconceived like notions before they even meet.
right. And they don't like they don't I don't know how to say, like they don't respect your previous knowledge, and their education or that you may have before is not supposed to be valued here, or to have less value because it's not like the Canadian experience.
This is so good.
No, it's like it's not only Virgin said, like it's a they're not validating. They're not validating. They are not even ready to listen what you know. It's not only validation, right? It's like they're like, even if you know many things, they don't even care to know what you know.
I mean, you're an international dancer, performer, and people still feel like, tell us a bit about, that.
Yes, and I didn't expect that you were pulling this leg here. So I would add about like, still I was like, I performed in different countries, and I performed with the different theater groups. And I'm just like, I'm a wide, theater artist. Like I traveled all around the world, and still like, I'm trying to find my leg here in this country. That is a big deal, first of all. And English is my second language. That is another layer. And also people are like, treating me and thinking that like take it for granted, and oh, you're a performer, perform for this, and you're a performer, perform for perform for free. Like,
Not
no,
put
like,
enough value on,
they're not putting a respect, they're not respecting my time, and they're not respecting my art, and they think like, you're just like, if you're providing a space for you to explore your dance, like, no, I'm a dancer, I am an artist, I'm a theater artist, I'm a performer, I'm just like, I'm a worth performer with the experience and knowledge, and I have a knowledge and experience with me.
Yeah. Talk about tokenism. What did that feel like? Like people want you.
Yeah.
I'll just invite Virgin just to say I have.
Right, just to have the
Right.
inclusional quote. And if I may add something, I feel like a really hard stigma or stereotype that I have to deal a lot is just like with the fact when people is like, oh, but you look like a woman. Like, so they, like they're always like, what do you mean? Like, but like there's different ways to look, and they're, like they feel they're giving you a compliment when like validating just this physical characteristics, and then they feel like that I should say, oh, thank you for telling me. Like, no, I think that's actually really rude. That
Rude.
people tell like just giving them opinions about your body or how it's supposed to look, or yes, or like even like like just asking like expecting that you maybe have like a turbulent or a like criminal past as well, right? Like that you may be like running away from the justice or like
Yeah, and when you said that, like, a tokenism and saying that like you're looking so women, like, you don't need to say that like you are more feminine or more womanish. You just say that like you're looking pretty. That is the alternative way to say that. You look pretty. That means you're pretty. That's it. It's like you don't need to say that like you are looking so feminine and you're looking more feminine than that person. Like that, you don't no comparison, because each person's journey is so different.
and so if I may add something, like it doesn't matter the way you look. We need to be respected, and we need to be like our identities have to be validated and respected and protected in the same way. It doesn't matter how I look or what I'm wearing or what I do for work. It doesn't matter. Like it shouldn't matter at all.
Exactly. Because the stereotypes are really incomplete that people make, about us. I mean, it is in a way, how do you feel like that affect your mental health or your mental well-being?
I think a lot because there's so much pressure sometimes, right? Like people just giving you their opinion about like how you look or how you should look, right? And like so going back to tokenism, I feel also like that's really like it's triggering. Like they're like these organizations somehow are kind of using you just to have access to grants or to have access to like financial support, but not actually doing a work for you with you or with your community to have a big impact in your community. Just like, oh, I'm gonna find you some makeup, like you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna pay you, I don't know, with a dress or something like very superficial that doesn't really have like an impact on trans people's life.
What does that feel like for you mentally? Like the mental health impact, and
So mental health is like mental health always disturbed or shaken by the journey you are going through. So this is like, when they are putting when they are making you feel lesser than they are, and when they are making you feel like, you are darker skin than they are, and when they are making you feel like mocking or teasing your cultural, and when they are, it's everything, it's like adding up a layer, it's disturbing a mental health, and because you don't feel comfortable there when they are doing all these things. So it's like every person in our life, they are helping or disturbing your mental health by one on another. It's like so it is ongoing process. It's like, in this new country as an immigrant, and they are like making labeling you in a different way, that like you're like a darker, you're brown, or you're like you're from this particular country and you are like smelling like a curry, and so much things. It's like it's adding up a layer that is making ourselves, which is like more conscious about, like, oh my god, am I looking good? Am I looking good enough for this crowd? Am I looking good enough for this presentation? Like, this is like always people are giving a pressure on your.
And that's a lot of pressure, right? That's a lot of internal, external pressure that's being put, on us, right? Because we can clearly speak from our life experience and what that, how the impact is. Well, maybe something you might do on a day-to-day basis to really ground yourself and, stay centered.
Yeah, I really like to I like to read about it, like just to understand more how is this affecting me, because I think like you sometimes you don't have the information, so you just feel the emotion, and then like when you actually understand it, you're like, so this is what is happening to me. I'm not the only one, right? And then like super important, I think I mentioned it before, but just being able to share with other people that is like from part of your community. You can create like strategies or share tips, right? Like what we're doing right now. Like just being able to slow down, and then like, oh, this happened to me as well. How do you deal? And the later person, like, or maybe we can create something together to feel better.
Absolutely. Is there anything in specific you do to, I know you're very spiritual, and you always have full of energy and vibrancy, and
I just like, for me, what is matter is you need to live at the end of the day. Whatever stigma you're going through, whatever mental health issue you're going through, whatever the disturbance the society giving you, the end of the day, you need to live and you need to be resilient. You need to show them back that, like, you know what, I deserve more than everyone else in this world. Like, of course I am. My existence is matter. Only thing is, like, you need to live. If you live, you can do whatever you want.
And like resilience, like you're talking about resilience. How do you feel that plays a part in your
Well, I think
day-to-day?
everything. Like feel like just being trans just making me feel that I have to, what she said, like just to stand up and fight and keep going and keep going, and just like don't letting them put me down, and just like also help my parents, like my in their road.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if we go through this way, and if we make the path, and if we are doing something, and all the younger generation are watching us, and they feel more confident, and like, so we are making a better place
Right.
for our younger generation,
Exactly.
right?
And we're setting an example that well, look how resilient we are. We can definitely be. It doesn't have to only be negative stuff. Like there's so much positive stuff that we talk about that is rich in our lives, just who we are. We have so many other things that it's not even trans related
Right.
that we move through, like you're such a good cook, you're the best salad maker ever.
It's also creating other ways, like other ways to love, other ways to create family, other ways to create like safe spaces, right? Just
Yeah.
experimenting, and just like we don't have to follow the rules. We don't have to follow the binary world rules. We broke them, and we can actually create new
Create a
ones
new
that work
space.
for us, and that could be a good example for people who might struggling for the same.
Through the video series, we've talked a lot about different issues, both negative, positive, and I think for me, it's important to shine that it's only not always bad. It's not only always barriers. I mean, we've been together, we've experienced some really fun times, and and maybe you can also talk about that how.
Now I feel like something that really give me a lot of hope is like I feel that this is a moment of the time when people is actually getting realized that something is changing, and then they're educating themselves, and they're trying, not enough, but they're working on it, and that somehow give me kind of hope that like we're going in the right direction, that we need just to keep like fighting for it, and people will be like warm enough to understand and have empathy to understand us and respect us.
And also, like, the when people are opening up, and they are trying to understand, especially the younger generation, they are way open than the previous generation, and they are like talking about this, and in a public forum, and they're like trying to learn. If they don't understand, they are admitting that they are doing a mistake and they didn't understand. They're opening up themselves to learn more about like a trans and gender equality and inclusivity. So that is the one of the biggest change, which is like I can see in a younger generation, because when I'm meeting a younger people, they're like talking about this like in a day-to-day life.
It's become,
It's becoming
an everyday
more common.
conversation.
Yeah.
And also it's like ally, it's not a one day thing. It's like ongoing process. You need to learn and learn and learn and keep on learning, right?
So there's hope.
No, for sure.
Hopeful
Like,
for the future.
yeah,
Hope,
yeah.
lots of, positive changes, positive
Exactly.
light, exciting things coming. Any last minute thoughts, comment, that you have for
Yeah, I think so far we cover like almost all the topics.
Yeah.
And like I'm really grateful to have this conversation happening, having this space where we can actually share
Yeah.
and express ourselves.
Yeah, even this space is very much important for me. I felt like personally, thank you so much for having me. And also, this is how important it is. Like a lot of people are trying to change themselves and being inclusivity, wanted to be ally, but they don't know how. And they don't know how to treat other people. They are open and they wanted to, but like they don't have resources to understand trans people. And I felt like this is very important conversation which you have done.
really educational.
Right.
We
Yeah.
hope that the hopes of it will create a lot of change. People will be inspired. People will be.
And that it's okay to have mistakes, but just like correct them, right? Like you can have mistakes for sure. We all make mistakes, but like just work on them and correct them.
And it's okay to
improve
have
yourself.
intersecting identities. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
We're clearly proof
Yeah.
of being,
Diverse.
Apologize and correct it if you do any
yeah.
mistakes. That's it, right?
So this was awesome.
That's
you.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
really, really great. And thank you too, again, for being, part of the series and part of this awesome project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yasmin.